Hello all, I am the Hollin Phantom, and in this video we're going to be going over poison cards in the trading card game. Poison is one of the 5 special conditions in the game that Pokemon can be affected by, and what it does is place a damage counter on the affected Pokemon between turns, eating away at their HP and slowly knocking them out. And in this list I'll be going over my top 10 picks of cards that inflict poison on the opponent. Starting off at number 10, we have Beedrill from Skyridge. It came with the Poke Power and 1 attack. The Poke Power was Venom Spray, which activated when Beedrill evolved and would paralyze and poison the opponent. The attack was Needle Rush, which needed 2 colorless energies to deal a base 10 damage and would then flip 4 coins and add more damage depending on how many heads it landed. With 1 heads it dealt 10 more damage, with 2 heads it dealt 20 more damage, with 3 heads it dealt 50 more damage, and with all 4 heads it dealt 90 more damage. Its Poke Power was strong as it left the opponent unable to attack or retreat, and could be reused by using Retro Energy or Undersea Ruins, both of which could be used to discard the top evolution card of a Pokemon, de-evolving it into its previous stage. And then Lure Ball could be used to retrieve discarded Beedrill cards to continue paralyzing and poisoning the opponent to keep the lock going. At number 9 we have Dark Muck from Team Rocket. It came with the Pokemon Power and 1 attack. The Pokemon Power was Sticky Goo, which would increase the opponent's retreat cost by 2 while Muck was active. And the attack was Sludge Punch, which needed 2 grass energies to deal 20 damage and would also poison the opponent. Dark Muck was a good Pokemon in 2nd generation as it could counter the popular Feraligatr because it was weak to grass-type Pokemon, and the poison would knock it out over time. It partnered well with its normal counterpart from Fossil, as its Pokemon Power Toxic Gas could shut off all other Pokemon powers, limiting the offensive capabilities of Feraligatr since it wouldn't be able to use its downpour to increase the power of its attacks. Dark Muck's poison was also used to knock out baby Pokemon, as the poison damage could bypass any focus band protection that they were relying on. And as a dark Pokemon, it could be supported by Darkness Energy to increase the power of its Sludge Punch, and Rocket's Hideout to increase its HP by 20. At number 8 we have Crobat Prime from Unleashed. It came with 2 attacks. The first attack was Severe Poison, which needed 1 Psychic Energy and would poison the opponent and then place 4 damage counters between turns instead of the usual 1. And the second attack was Skill Dive, which also needed 1 Psychic Energy and would hit any Pokemon on the opponent's side for 30 damage. This Crobat saw use alongside Mew Prime in a 2011 format, as Mew could send Pokemon to the Lost Zone with its See-Off attack, and then copy the attacks of lost Pokemon with its Lost Link Pokebody. So in this deck, Mew was able to copy the attacks of powerful evolved Pokemon without having to waste resources on evolving, and a strategy in this deck was to See-Off Muck from Undaunted and use its Sludge Drag attack to bring up a Pokemon with an expensive retreat cost, and then use Severe Poison to slowly wear it down while it was stuck in the active spot. Crobat's Skill Dive attack was also useful in knocking out benched baby Pokemon, as it couldn't be protected with their Pokebodies while they were in the bench, making Crobat Prime a versatile and strong attacker. At number 7 we have Skunk Tank SP from Platinum. This card came with 1 Poke Power and 1 attack. Its Poke Power was Poison Structure, which could be activated when there was a stadium in play, and would poison both the players and the opponent's active Pokemon, excluding SP Pokemon. And the attack was Smokescreen, which needed 2 colorless energies to deal 20 damage, and if the opposing Pokemon tried to attack during their next turn, they'd have to flip a coin, and if it got tails, their attack wouldn't go through. This card was used in an SP Toolbox deck in the 2009 format as a support Pokemon. It was comboed with the Stadium Galactic HQ, which would place 2 damage counters on a Pokemon when it evolved, and Skunk Tank's Poke Power would then poison the opponent's Pokemon. Toxicroak SP from Platinum could then take advantage of it with its Deep Poison attack, as it could hit for up to 60 damage if the opponent was poisoned for only a single energy if it was equipped with an energy gain. The same combo could also be used but with Seviper from Call of Legends as the attacker, as it had the Poison Effect attack and would increase in power if Seviper itself was poisoned, so it actually benefited from being poisoned by Skunk Tank's Poke Power. Poison Structure allowed SP Pokemon to disrupt the opponent with its effect, and could even take surprise knockouts when combined with Toxicroak. At number 6, we have another SP Pokemon, Toxicroak G, a promo during the Diamond and Pearl era. It came with a Poke Power and 1 attack. The Poke Power was Leap Away, which could be activated if Toxicroak was in the active spot, and would then flip a coin, and if it landed heads, would return Toxicroak and all cards attached to it back to the player's hand. And its attack was Poison Revenge, which needed 1 Psychic Energy and 1 Colorless Energy to deal a base 20 damage, but it would be increased by 40 and also poison the opponent if one of its teammates was knocked out in the previous turn. Toxicroak G was a great tech card in SP decks, as it could be quickly powered up with the help of energy gain to reduce the cost of its attack, and could one-hit KO the popular Luxray level X as it was weak to fighting Pokemon. Also, it could knock out most of the basic SP Pokemon, as they usually topped out at 80 HP, so with the help of Crobat G's Flashbite Pokepower, Toxicroak could knock them out. And if Toxicroak needed to be saved for a future turn, it could use its Pokepower to escape the active spot. But even if it failed the coin flip, it could also be picked up with Poketurn, which had the effect of Super Scoop Up but for SP Pokemon, and it did not need a coin flip. With its powerful attack, Toxicroak was a good revenge killer in SP decks to take quick knockouts. At number 5, we have Aryados from Unseen Forces. It came with 2 attacks. The first attack was Reactive Poison, which needed 1 colorless energy to deal a base 10 damage, but would increase by 30 for each special condition in the opposing Pokemon. The second attack was Spider Trap, which needed 1 grass energy and would poison the opponent and also put them to sleep. Plus, it could also force the opponent to switch out with the benched Pokemon. This Aryados was the focus of a powerful deck in the 3rd generation alongside Flareon EX from Delta Species, as it had the evolutionary Flame Pokepower, which would both confuse and burn the opponent as soon as it came into play, and could be reused by picking up Flareon with Super Scoop Up to be used on a future turn. So with Flareon's ability, Aryados' Reactive Poison attack could deal 70 damage plus another 20 with the burn, and it could be boosted even further with the Stadium Full Flame to increase the damage by 20. But Aryados could function on its own by first attacking with Spider Trap to inflict poison and sleep, and then follow up with Reactive Poison on the following turn. Aryados was a powerful card in the 3rd generation as it could attack for huge damage with a single energy while also disrupting the opponent. At number 4, we have Gliscor Level X from Legends Awakened. It came with the Pokepower and 1 attack, but it could also use the attacks of its previous form, bringing its attack total up to 3. Its Pokepower was Shoot Poison, which would activate as soon as it came into play, and would leave the opposing Pokemon both paralyzed and poisoned, just like Beedrill from earlier on this list. Its attack was Night Slash, which needed 1 fighting energy and 1 colorless energy to deal 60 damage, and would also switch Gliscor out of the active spot. Its base form's attack were Burning Poison, which was free to use and would leave the opponent either poisoned or burned, depending on the player's choice, and would then return itself to the hand. And the next attack was Pester, which needed 1 fighting energy and 1 colorless energy to deal a base 40 damage, plus 40 more if the opponent was affected by a special condition. Gliscor Level X was part of a popular deck in 2010 in combination with Spiritomb from Arceus. And the strategy was to have Gliscor Level X come into play and leave the opponent paralyzed and poisoned with its Poison Shoot power, and would then attack with Burning Poison, returning itself to the hand and promoting Spiritomb to the active spot. Spiritomb's Keystone Seal Pokebody would then activate, locking the opponent's trainers so they would be unable to attack, retreat, or use trainer cards during their turn, forcing them to pass. The Gliscor player would then promote another Gliscor and level it up into its Level X form again to continue the process, shutting the opponent out of the game while their Pokemon got knocked out by poison. Broken Time Space was also used as a way to quickly evolve Gliscor to maintain the lock, as it allowed Pokemon to evolve immediately on the turn that they came into play. All these cards together made the deck pretty powerful in the 2010 format, making Gliscor Level X one of the best poison users of the 4th generation. At number 3, we have Nidoqueen from Fire Red and Leaf Green. It came with the Pokebody and 2 attacks. The Pokebody was Family Bonds, which would give all Nido Pokemon a free retreat cost. The first attack was Toxic, which needed 1 grass energy and would poison the opponent, and the poison would place 2 damage counters between turns instead of the usual 1. And the second attack was Power Lariat, which needed 1 fighting energy and 2 colorless energies to deal 40 damage plus 10 more damage for each evolved Pokemon on its side of the field. This Nidoqueen was the main Pokemon in the 2005 and 2006 deck alongside Pidgeot, and was able to start attacking as quickly as turn 2 due to having access to double Rainbow Energy and Pidgeot's Quick Search Pokepower, which was able to search out any card from the deck once per turn. Variants of the Nidoqueen deck would also run Delta Pidgeot and Houndoom, as Delta Pidgeot had the Delta Reserve Pokepower, which could shut off all other Pokepowers, mainly other Pidgeot. And Houndoom could lock the opponent's trainer cards with its Pokebody Lonesome if the opponent had more Pokemon on their side of the field. These Pokemon were mostly used as support for Nidoqueen, who could use her powerful attacks to wear down the opponent with poison or knock them out with the Power Lariat attack. At number 2 we have Hypnotoxic Laser from Plasma Storm. This is the only card in this list to not be a Pokemon, but it was actually an item card, and because of this it actually saw the most amount of competitive play due to how easily it was splashed into a lot of decks. and what it did was it automatically poisoned the opposing Pokemon and could also potentially put them to sleep if it got heads on a coin flip, which is a nice bonus, but the real draw was the poison condition because it allowed a lot of decks to increase their damage output and take single turn knockouts against the big EX Pokemon of the 5th generation. It was released alongside the Stadium Verbank City Gym, as its effect increased the poison damage from 10 to 30 between turns, which meant that even without attacking, both of these trainer cards could damage the opponent and take knockouts. Hypnotoxic Laser could also be repeatedly used by Sableye from Dark Explorers, as its Junk Hunt attack let it add 2 item cards from the discard pile back into the hand to be used again in the following turn, keeping the poison damage going. Because of the widespread use of Hypnotoxic Laser, decks usually ran Keldeo EX, as its Rush-In ability could remove the poison and sleep conditions from the active Pokemon by switching them out, which really showed the power of this card that it needed to be teched against by most decks. And finally at number 1, we have Excelgore from Dark Explorers. It came with 2 attacks. The first attack was Hammer In, which needed 1 Grass Energy to deal 20 damage. And the second attack was Deck and Cover, which needed 2 colorless energies to deal 50 damage and also paralyze and poison the opponent, but then Excelgore would have to shuffle itself back into the deck. This Excelgore was a key piece in decks that saw a lot of usage between 2012 and 2014, and even made it to the World Championships, and it all revolved around Excelgore's second attack. In these decks, Excelgore could be played alongside either Mew Prime from Triumphant, or Mew EX from Dragons Exalted as the primary attackers to copy Excelgore's attack. In the Mew Prime version, Excelgore would be sent to the Lost Zone with either Mew C-Off attack or Relicanth's Prehistoric Wisdom attack. Vileplume would be set up to lock all trainer cards with its Allergy Flower Pokebody, and Chandelure was promoted to the active spot once Mew was shuffled away and spread damage with its Cursed Shadow ability. Darkrai EX's Dark Cloak ability would give Chandelure a free retreat cost to switch out and give another Mew a chance to attack and continue the lock. In the Mew EX version of the deck, Excelgore was set up on the bench, and Mew's versatile ability would copy its attack. Once Mew attacked and was shuffled away, it would promote either Gothitelle from Emerging Powers or Trevenant from XY, as their Magic Room and Forest Curse abilities could lock away the opponent's item cards while they were in the active spot. Floatstone was used in the deck to give them a free retreat cost to switch out and keep Mew EX attacking. The strength of Excelgore's attack is what led to the success of these decks, cementing its place in the meta, which is why it has come in at number 1 on this list. Which is your favorite poison card? Let me know down in the comments below, along with suggestions for future videos. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Hole and Phantom logging out.